Hi everybody, and welcome to season 2 of Dig In Y'all. On this episode, we're going to be starting to cook with friends and family. As we talked about last season, food, friends, family, and booze. Always a good combo. So today, we're drinking gin, making seafood pasta, and drinking a little wine at the end. Y'all come back. And here we are in New Orleans. I've got myself a drink, and we are in the historic Jackson Square. The statue of Andrew Jackson right behind us, and of course the St. Louis Cathedral. What could be better than this? We're surrounded by people, artists, musicians. We've got it all. Welcome to New Orleans, y'all. It's time to dig in. Hi everybody, and welcome back to Dig In Y'all. As we do on every show, we're going to start the show with a drink, and because today we are cooking with one of my good friends from high school, Johnny Steen, his favorite drink is gin. So we're going to go ahead and start off with a good old glass of Hendrick's here. I'm going to pour myself just gin and ice, because we all know I don't like to waste space in a glass.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate
Johnny
it.
is going to be doing a little bit of gin and tonic. So we'll start off that way. Cheers.
Cheers. Glad to be here.
Oh, that's good. Whew. Like a little juniper berry when we're sitting here cooking.
Woo.
Now remember, every time we've had this show, we start off, we have a good drink, get yourself good and relaxed. We don't want anybody white knuckling in the kitchen. Johnny and I have been friends since high school, and the bottom line is this: he's a great cook. So why not share some of his talent, his time, drink his favorite drink, and move on from there. So today we're doing a seafood pasta. We've got our pan starting to heat up here, and we're throwing in how much butter, Johnny?
Not using that, but you want to throw that butter in right there.
So about a stick of butter, maybe a little bit more than a stick of butter. We'll throw that in, get that going. Get that out of the way. You can have that back.
Thank you.
And so we're gonna let this go ahead and start to melt down. And as we melt this butter down, we've gone ahead and we've chopped up about a quarter cup of white onion, quarter cup of purple onion. We've got about 3 ribs of celery. And we're just gonna go ahead and begin to saute all this together, get some of those flavors going. Everybody knows, every episode that you watch when I start cooking, I always start off with onions, celery, and of course my ultimate favorite, garlic.
Lots of garlic.
Everything I do has garlic. It's a good Louisiana staple, good fresh Louisiana garlic. We've got all that cut up right here. So we're gonna put that celery and onion in first. We've got our butter starting to melt. Everybody knows I can't keep my hands out of a pan. So we'll put that there, kind of get that going. Let's grab one of these. My tasting spoons, but who cares about that? As we get butter kind of going here, we'll just go ahead and cut up a little bit more celery.
Watch your fingers.
I got a doctor in the house, I'm not worried. So we got that, we'll throw that in there, get that going. Remember, we've got all of our standards going here as well. We've got some salt, pepper, parsley flakes, and of course some good old Cajun seasoning. So we're gonna go ahead and throw some of that in there. Get that going.
Nice and little. Kick it up a notch.
Right
There
now.
you go.
Oh.
That's what I like to see. Thank you.
There we go. A little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper. And then one of the things that Johnny was telling me to always throw in things, a little bit of good crab oil. So we've got some of that crab oil seasoning we can throw in there.
Nice smoke seasoning right there.
Let's just throw it all in. There we go.
Got it?
And stir this up. So Johnny and I have known each other since high school. And, you know, we've hung out a few times, we've had a few drinks, but, you know, the best thing to do when hanging out with Johnny and now his 1-year-old is cooking and eating and drinking. So we love that. It's a great combo. And now we've got this going. We're sweating those onions down. They're gonna be really, really good. They're getting tender and you're getting a lot of that juice going in there. So once we get that, we'll go ahead and throw in, well, we've got about 6 or 7 cloves of garlic here. Should we use them all? We'll use
They
them
all go in. Absolutely.
We'll use them all. Finally chop those. And remember, if you're not wanting to chop your garlic the day that you're cooking, one of the tips that we always talk about is you can take your garlic, chop it up, put it in some good olive oil, and put some of your other seasonings in there. and let it sit. It can sit on your counter for a couple of weeks if you want. Put it in a jar, seal it, and put it in the pantry. It's good there as well.
That's fantastic.
So this is actually smelling really good right now. We'll throw about 3 green onions in. We'll just use the bottoms, and we'll save the tops for garnish for later. All right, so we'll use that. Throw that in there.
You got to stop for a second. Cheers.
Cheers. Got a
Forgetting
drink.
important things. That's good stuff. I'll stir your drink.
Everybody's seen this going on before. Real easy. We're talking about the same stuff that we start most good Louisiana dishes with. Use that onion and that garlic. Nothing better than fresh garlic. The more you use, the better it is. If you don't like garlic, I'm sorry. You can leave it out. It's just not going to taste as good. So now that we've got that going and it's looking really good, we're going to start thinking about some other things. One of my favorite ingredients in all of Louisiana is good, fresh Gulf shrimp. Nothing better. They're big and juicy. They've got great flavors. They've got a lot of good things going on. And what you really want is to make sure that you've got those good, fresh Gulf shrimp. We've got some great Louisiana sausage that we're going to use today. And we've got some incredible smells going on here right now.
You need smell-o-vision. That's what you don't have.
Absolutely. So we're starting to mix and mingle all these flavors as I start to slur because I've had a little too much gin. But we're getting a lot of this going now, and we'll be able to mix those flavors really good. Johnny's cutting up. We've got about 3 links of sausage in here. Good smoked sausage. You can use smoked andouille, it's very good. If you want to use a smoked pork sausage, like a green onion or a jalapeno, you can use that as well. If you want to kind of kick up the spice a little bit. But that smokiness in that sausage is what's really going to count and really going to make things good. So we're sitting here and making sure that we don't burn everything. And the next thing that we're going to go ahead and throw in is, should we throw our sherry in now?
Go ahead and throw a little bit in right now.
We're going to throw about an ounce of cooking sherry in here now. Kind of deglaze that pan. Keep those onions and that garlic from sticking. Remember that your garlic is the one ingredient in this that can actually scorch and burn and turn bitter on you. So we're keeping it pretty easy and pretty straightforward for you right now. Johnny's also a great hunter and fisherman. So there's always fresh fish, fresh deer meat sausage in his freezer. This past weekend we had incredible drum and redfish. It was just a great, great weekend. Always a good thing to go to his house and eat.
I keep plenty of stuff in the freezer for you, man.
So now that we've got this going on right now, we're gonna start to kind of look and see what we can do next. We're gonna go ahead and throw in our sausage, and we're gonna let that brown a little bit. Really start to release some of the fat in that sausage, get some of the grease going in there. And what that's gonna do is it's gonna start to prep everything so that once we go in and come back from the next break, we'll be able to start adding in a lot of the heavier, richer ingredients. We're gonna hold off on the shrimp till the end, and it's all gonna be absolutely scrumptious. And when you all come back, we're gonna be adding in some absolutely amazing smells. We're gonna add in some great flavors and make this one rich Louisiana seafood dish. We'll see y'all on the other side of the commercial break. Come back and see us. Welcome back. While you guys were away, we were, well, drinking. So we've let this continue to simmer a little bit, and we're sweating down those onions and that sausage.
I don't know if you guys can see this right here, but all of the onions, the garlic, they turn kind of translucent in color. And then that sausage, a lot of the fat's been rendered out already. So this is smelling fantastic, by the way. I wish you could smell this. But,
That's why we have a doctor on the show. He can tell you about fat rendering out and translucent.
Right.
He can use big words.
All right, go ahead. So next thing I probably want to go ahead and add in, be a bell pepper right over there for me, please, sir.
All right, so how much bell pepper we got here? Green and red?
Probably have half red, half green bell pepper. I like to put these in kind of right before my heavy cream, just add a little extra color. And I like my bell pepper to be a little crispy, so that's why I don't put them in at the very beginning. So just kind of stir it up. I'm a big color fan. I like lots of color.
I met your family. It's pretty colorful.
You know, friends and family, as you being part of my family, I appreciate that. Thank you, sir. All right. So we got a little extra Cajun seasoning over there. Just a little bit dash of that if you don't mind.
Go for it.
All right, we'll probably throw a little. There we go. All right, good. That's fine too. Whatever. Just throw it in.
More is always better.
All right. So as this is getting beautiful and married and happy right now, the next thing we're gonna be looking for is gonna be our heavy cream. We're gonna add that in.
Add 2 cups of heavy cream.
And I just
Don't use skim milk. Please don't use skim milk. Don't even use 2%.
Well, yeah, South Louisiana, it's not like we do things anything light or any, healthy sort of, really. This dish is meant, make everybody happy at home.
Belly
butter,
pleasing
right.
food.
Belly pleasing food. So butter, garlic, and cream, and if you can't mess this up. I mean, really,
Absolutely not.
it's the easiest thing in the world to do.
Good sausage, good seafood, heavy cream and butter.
Oh, I love it.
Only thing missing from this is what?
Cocktail.
Okay. I was going to say
Cheers.
bacon, but that works.
Oh, we can throw that in too, but I don't have any, unfortunately, right here. So we're gonna let this come up, let that get the temperature right now. And so I'm just gonna have a little bit of a cocktail while you.
That's fine. Johnny and I went to high school together. You know, in New Orleans, it's one of those things that those bonds stick with you. Back when I decided to move to London for a little while, gave Johnny a phone call one day and said, "Hey, I'm in London. Want to come visit?" Next thing you know, he's on a plane. We're eating our way through London and then moving on to Hungary to go visit my parents and go hang out in London.
Which was a fantastic time, by the way.
That's right.
I came back with a nice collection full of crystal.
That's right.
Which
made
impressive.
your wife very
impressive.
happy.
Yes, she's extremely excited about that.
By the way, where is Stacy right now?
She's unfortunately working. Somebody's got to pay the bills.
Hi, Stacy. Sorry.
We love you, honey. So, but I'm gonna keep stirring this around. The next thing, if you notice, it's a little kind of loose. There's a couple different ways you can thicken this up. If you would like, thick sauce, you want thin sauce, it doesn't really matter to me. I like to use like some Parmesan cheese because that stuff looks fantastic right now. So we're just gonna add just a little bit in. All right, just trying to throw that.
A little bit of Parmesan cheese.
Just a little. We don't use exact measurements in South Louisiana. It's a little bit of this, some of that, and just kind of stir it in until it kind of gets thickened up a little bit.
Don't forget, if you're really curious about some of these recipes, you can find us on Facebook at A Whole Heap. Or if you are wanting the recipe from today, you can look on awholeheap.com and find the website there, the newsletter's there, all the good stuff. There'll be excerpts, I'm sure, from this show because we drank an awful lot and we made a lot of mistakes. So those will all be on the website as well. So you can always find good things on there. Now remember, you've got all these things. You need to give them some time. Louisiana, you've heard me say this time after time after time. It's all about low and slow. It's the way we live our life. You want to keep things together. You want to let them slowly marinate together. The same way you spend time with friends. It's not about hurry up and rush. You just want to sit back and enjoy your time. We're not going to hurry up and, bring this on high heat and just go crazy and scorch all those, good fresh pieces of garlic or, burn the edges of the sausage. What you really want to do is let flavors marry. Build up those flavors. Let them layer upon each other. Johnny's throwing a little bit of dried parsley in there right now, trying to sneak stuff in and make it his own where I don't get to know what's really gone in there. But what you really want is let things kind of build up and kind of, become more special. It's the way we do a lot of things with Whole Heap and Dig In, y'all. We want people to enjoy their time, enjoy the other people they're with, and, basically have a real good time.
I tell you what, I read through the entire cookbook, which is extremely impressive. And then, knowing the family, knowing the background, kind of like mine, we usually do things by word of mouth.
Absolutely.
And so when I was taught growing up, my grandmother didn't say, yeah, quarter cup of this, half a cup of that, teaspoon of this. It was you put this, and this in here. And you just keep tasting it, and then you try to figure out, is this how I like it? Or is this not good? What do I need to add next? So I'm going to taste a little bit of this right now.
Well, we're all about that, how I like it. You've heard me say that over and over again. If you don't like something, don't put it in. You're not going to offend me. You're not going to offend Johnny. You're not going to offend anybody by taking an ingredient out because you don't like it. If you don't like pork sausage, use a beef sausage. It's gonna change the flavor a little bit, but if that's what you like or what you want or what you need, then go ahead and do it. Because remember, this is all about time with you and your family and your friends. That's our whole goal. That's what we strive for, and that's what we want to do. So when we come back, we're going to be cooking up some pasta to throw with this. And we're gonna be throwing in the shrimp because remember, you don't want to overcook shrimp. They end up tasting like a tire.
Yeah.
End up all chewy and
It turns into a piece of rubber. That's the last thing you want to throw into anything, especially any seafood. It depends on where you are in the country. If you're over, say in California or East Coast, West Coast, doesn't matter. Clams, scallops, whatever you have fresh works very well with this. Everything goes really good with butter, garlic, and cream. Seriously.
Can't go wrong with that. And if you're averse to seafood altogether, you can always remember to,
Chicken.
throw in chicken. One of my favorite ingredients to mix things up with. When I was at Johnny's about a month ago, everything was chicken pasta and chicken and heavy cream, and we did all these great different
Works
dishes,
well.
all very, very good comfort food, and it stores well in the refrigerator, it reheats beautifully. And remember, if you're gonna do this for your family, you can always cook and double a recipe like this, because when you do, you've got something that you can then refrigerate and have leftovers a day or two later. You can even hold back some of your fresh shrimp and then add those in when you go to reheat your sauce, so you've got another piece that you can do later on. Remember, you can always follow us on Twitter, find all kinds of great information about everything that we're doing here today. God, this smells so good.
I'm gonna
It's
try
just
this again,
ridiculous.
if you don't mind.
I've noticed you've been trying an awful lot. So when we come back, we're gonna go over kind of adding those last few ingredients. We're gonna add the last of that cooking sherry to this, and we're gonna really begin to marry those flavors, throw this over some pasta, have a wonderful time. And you know what? Johnny and I are actually gonna start drinking some wine with this as well. So we will see you all on the other side of the commercial break. Welcome back. And while you guys have been gone, we've been drinking. So this has still been cooking slow, and it's really, really good. So what we're gonna do is we're letting this stay good and hot right now, getting everything kind of mixed together. We've cooked 1 pound of fettuccine. Now, if you want to cook more than that and keep some in the refrigerator and do this again tomorrow night for leftovers or 2 nights from now for leftovers, you can. If you wanted to...
You can use any type of pasta, I think.
Absolutely.
Angel hair, spaghetti, whatever you got.
If you wanted to, you could even halfway cook your pasta, pour the sauce over it, and bake it in the oven. And end up with something, it'd be really gooey, and then you add extra cheese on the top, and you broil it and make it all crunchy.
Nothing
and
but
crispy
goodness.
inside.
Thank you.
The more cheese, the better. The more butter, the better. It's all good.
More butter.
More is better. Just like with the booze. So anyway, so we've got this cooking right now. We're gonna probably go ahead and throw our shrimp in the next minute or two. But remember, this season we are filming 6 of our 8 episodes in Louisiana. So if you have any questions at all, you wanna know anything about New Orleans, you wanna know anything about Southern food or cooking, feel free to tweet us at Whole Heap, and we'll be happy to answer your questions. Last season we answered a lot of questions. We created an entire show around one of our viewers' questions. So feel free to go ahead and tweet us, ask us lots of questions, and we'll give you as much feedback as we can. So Johnny, we've had this cooking now for about, close to a half an hour now. So by the time we're ready to go ahead and throw in the shrimp, we can go ahead and do that and get that going.
You just want to make sure that this is nice and hot. Go ahead and put your shrimp in. The shrimp does not take long to cook at all. So that's why you add it at the very end. Otherwise, if you like eating rubber tires, throw your shrimp in early. But I don't recommend that. So you put your shrimp in, and you really want to let this nice and sit in its juices for about the next 5-7 minutes or so. And just let it cook all on its own. You don't have to do much to it. Remember, you're tasting throughout and you're seasoning throughout. So this should be pretty well seasoned before your shrimp go in. And, once it's done, you just let it go, and that's all you need to do.
That was about 1.5 to 2 pounds of deheaded, deveined, good Louisiana Gulf shrimp.
Fresh Louisiana shrimp. Fresh off the boat from Venice, Louisiana, I will say.
This is an advantage to shooting in Louisiana. We get stuff fresh off the boat, so it's always a good thing. Louisiana seafood is king as far as I'm concerned. No offense, Florida, but we got you beat hands down on the shrimp. Key West pinks are good, but fresh Louisiana Gulf shrimp, better.
Yeah.
So what we did is we cooked a pound of fettuccine here. We're going ahead and we're letting the rest of this go ahead and cook. We picked a wine for tonight, We're gonna finish our gin, but one of the things that I really like is I like a good, crisp, small vineyard. So we picked an Arnaise, actually. It's an Italian white wine, great served really, really cold. Goes excellent with shrimp and fish. So it also really good with scallops. So any kind of good seafood, this is it, man. This is absolutely delicious stuff. So, you know, not that it's a big surprise to anybody, but we're gonna keep on drinking on the show. And
one of the best parts about this dish right here is that you and I have been liquored up. We got a little extra liquor for the after or now, depending on what you want to do. But right before you get ready to serve this over the pasta, right when you think the shrimp is done, and remember, the shrimp is going to be done. You know, you stir this around, you want anything sticking to the bottom. The shrimp's going to be done when you see it turning nice and pink, and all the shrimp need to be nice and pink. Certainly you don't want to serve anybody any raw food. But we're going to keep stirring it around. Almost done. I'll probably give it another few minutes or so. Turn up the heat just a little bit. All right.
Excellent. So, a few things that you can do to finish this dish off that are absolutely, you know, a really good thing. We can add cheese to the top of it and throw it in the oven.
That would be good.
We can do that for about 5 to 10 minutes. You want to do it on a really, really high heat, broil and just crisp up that cheese on the top. Or we can just throw on the cheese, throw it in, ready to go, let it melt and get all good and gooey so we can go to serve it. Comes apart and you get that good stringy bits of cheese and everything else. Johnny likes to throw in the cooking sherry at the very end to make sure we've got a little bit more of that residual alcohol on top of everything, which at this point we really don't need any more alcohol.
More liquor, come on, really?
But the other thing you can do is fresh parsley, green onions. There's a lot of things that you can do to kind of garnish the top of this and make it kind of that finished, completed dish, and it's absolutely delicious. Yeah, now you're gonna start with that again.
Well, I was trying to find my recipe in here. It's not in here yet, but hopefully with a little more liquor, I can convince you to put whatever we did for this
Book 2?
inside of there.
Book 2?
Book 2? I'd be excited about that, Chad.
All right, we'll do it for book 2. But meanwhile, book 1's got some great recipes in it right now.
It really does.
Nothing like good family stories, time with friends, and remember, please don't show that picture.
Oh, this is probably the best picture in the whole book. Come on. All right.
So, just remember that, you know, you really want to spend time with this and enjoy it. We're all about food, friends, and family. A good time, good wine, good booze, fresh Louisiana seafood, and it's all good. So I think what we're going to start doing right now is probably going ahead and we can spoon that over.
Well, first, I want to add some sherry into this bad boy just because the shrimp want to be happy too, Chad.
Nothing like getting your shrimp liquored up. There you go. Add a little more
If
of that.
it works for you and I, it's going to work for the shrimp. Remember
That's right.
that. You know, and if for some reason you don't like dry sherry, you know, you can always use some type of citrus to throw in there, maybe a little lemon or lime juice, just to give it that little extra, little twang to the situation.
Twang. Lemon zest will work well. Orange zest will work well. Lime zest will work well. If you want to finish off the dish with a little bit of that, give it a little bit of color, and bring those oils and that citrus is really going to cut that cream and make it less heavy.
Oh, that's beautiful.
If you believe that, you know, I've got something else for you. But
Land on Mars.
that's right.
That's
Hot,
really
isn't it?
good.
Really hot.
I can't feel it, so it's okay. Here you go.
That's okay. Go ahead.
So we're gonna go ahead and just spoon this over our pasta. Our shrimp is done. You notice the shrimp right here, look, beautiful, nice and pink. That's what you're looking for. It's done. We're just gonna, I'm trying not to make a terrible mess if I can help it.
It's Mom's stove. It's okay.
Shh. Yeah, but I don't want to have Mom yelling at me. There's a big difference. All right, we're gonna keep adding that in.
Just so you all know, this season we are cooking with friends and family. So we'll be cooking with Mom. We'll be cooking with Johnny. We're cooking with other friends and family, cooking with Jeff. It's all gonna be good. It's all about a little bit of good Louisiana seafood, Louisiana spices, and just good flavors. I mean, look at this.
This is, I tell you what, this is family style right here.
This is what we really want. This is all about good Louisiana seafood and good food.
Turn that off for me. I appreciate it. And then, you know, once you notice it's kind of coming up over the top, that's okay. Nothing wrong with that.
I'm hot.
Hey, the steam coming off may indicate heat. I'm just throwing it out there. All right, we're gonna go ahead and spoon that in.
Takes a doctor's education for that knowledge.
Shh, don't tell anybody that. All right.
So we're ready to go. Throw this out on the table, serve it up. Of course, more cheese.
Is there any problem with that?
Nope.
I didn't think so.
But you know me.
Uh-oh, he wants to. Go ahead, hammer it.
Little more Cajun seasoning.
That's what I like to see.
Little pepper, little red pepper. Smart ass. And we're good to go. So we will see you all next week. Next week, we're actually cooking with Mama. So come back to her kitchen, and we will see y'all on the next episode of Dig In, y'all.
Do you want to ladle it, or do you want to pick the bad boy up and just roll with it? I'm sorry, again in English?
We'll just leave
How is it?
Would you like some time alone?
I do.
I give you and your pasta some time. I'm out of here.